Hi there, I'm Tiffany Rodis from the Guyana Revenue Authority. This week we focus on Customshouse Brokers and their role within the AML CFT framework, why Customshouse Brokers are being sensitized about trade-based money laundering, what is trade-based money laundering, and how to apply for a Customshouse Brokers license. Focus on GRA begins now.
Every run, every catch, every game is a step towards a brighter future. Just like cricket, building a better country requires teamwork. By paying taxes, we contribute to our country's growth, allowing children to chase their dreams. Paying your taxes is about more than today. It's an investment in tomorrow.
When you pay your taxes, it adds to the pool of revenue that the government collects to develop the country. Building stadiums, funding programs for young cricketers, even those who are differently able with visual impairments. Your taxes help create these opportunities for all of you.
Bet you one day go be a CPA star.
Welcome to another edition of Focus on GRA, a program of information for taxpayer education. On Wednesday, May 13, the GRA engaged Customshouse Brokers to raise awareness and improve their understanding of money laundering, its risk, and their obligations to report suspicious transactions. Here's more. The GRA's Planning Risk and Analysis Department, PRNAD, engaged 140 Customshouse Brokers at the Guyana Police Training Center as part of its Anti-Money Laundering Countering the Financing of Terrorism, AML CFT Sensitization Workshop. During the opening of the one-day workshop, Comptroller of the Customs, Excise and Trade Operations, Mr. Rohan Biku, noted the session is critical in the fight against money laundering, given the evolution of customs operations across the globe.
These criminal terrorists and other networks will seek to use the customs system to place their money into the system. Placement is one of the 4 stages, right? So to convert proceeds from drugs, narcotics, smuggling, name it, whatever, and try to give it the semblance of legitimacy.
At the sensitization session, Customshouse Brokers learned how trade-based money laundering, or TBML, is prevalent in their sector, how to spot TBML, and their responsibility to report suspicious transactions. Mr. Biku reminded Customshouse Brokers that they have an obligation to understand the risk of money laundering and report it.
We have to demonstrate that we're capable, that we've conducted the relevant training and awareness and so on. In fact, this is so important that every single customs officer course now has anti-money laundering in it, right? And moving forward, every single customs broker course will also have anti-money laundering in it, so you will know your role.
This is the first ever formal AML CFT sensitization by the GRA with Customshouse Brokers. Director of the Financial Intelligence Unit, Mr. Matthew Langevin, noted it is a timely and long overdue engagement.
Guyana is not what we know it to be anymore. We hear the term oil economy, fastest growing economy. It's not business as usual when it comes to trade and just how we do business in Guyana.
Head of PR&AD, Mr. Navindra Dat Prasad, noted that sensitization and responsible education are the preludes to accountability, but stressed that the Customshouse Brokers themselves have a role to play as well.
It is imperative that this here becomes a collaboration. That is why it's imperative. That it becomes a collaboration This cannot be an engagement where the onus is on GRA to execute its AML CFT function. This has to be an engagement where there's a consensus for us to agree that this is a joint effort to pursue the same goal. It has to be.
Meanwhile, President of the Customshouse Brokers Association, Mr. Colin Moore, welcomed the sensitization session.
I think we need to recognize the importance of it, not only as us as agents, in the case where we may become reporting agents, but the responsibility that we have as custom brokers, being the direct interface with importers, exporters, and for us to understand not just the importance of reporting, but the responsibility that we have towards Guyana as a whole, and ensuring that anti-money laundering is curtailed in such a way, because you can't stamp it out totally, but most importantly, even in the prevention of terrorism, we have a very important role to play.
Also making remarks at the AML CFT sensitization workshop was head of the Special Organized Crime Unit, SOCU, Mr. Fazil Karimbash, who cautioned the Customs House brokers to operate within the remit of their license and the laws of Guyana.
If you don't, there's a likelihood you'll get embroiled in conspiracy to commit money laundering. Right? We have some dealers that is committing a lot of atrocities, and some brokers will get trouble because remember, you're the broker. You know the right from the wrong, and you're supposed to be doing the correct thing, right? To ensure there's no evasion of taxes. And I want you to understand, according to the Money Laundering Act, tax evasion is money laundering.
My name is Dindia also, and I'm a tax consultant. I'm encouraging all professionals, be you an accountant, a doctor, or an attorney who are self-employed. I would like to take this opportunity to encourage you to ensure that all your taxes owing are paid up to date, or if not, arrangements are made with the GRA to have it paid, and that will enable you to obtain your practice certificate.
The Financial Action Task Force defines trade-based money laundering, or TBML, as the process of disguising the proceeds of crime and moving value through the use of trade transactions in an attempt to legitimize their illegal origins or finance their activities. Head of the GRA's Planning, Risk and Analysis Department, Mr. Navindradat Prashad, illustrates how to identify TBML in the Customs House brokerage industry. Customs House brokers learned how to identify TBML, a prevalent money laundering technique in the sector, during a one-day AML CFT sensitization workshop hosted by the GRA. Head of GRA's Planning, Risk and Analysis Department, Mr. Navindradat Prashad, noted that a key element of TBML is over and under invoicing. He illustrates how over-invoicing is done in the industry.
You have an invoice that makes no coherent economic sense that is brought before you. An invoice that makes no marketing sense. An invoice that is illogical on reasonable grounds. An invoice that is illogical on economic grounds. An invoice that is illogical on business grounds. And you never sought to question it.
Mr. Prashad cautioned Customs House brokers that while they may not have statutory obligations to report suspicious transactions in accordance with the AML CFT Act of 2009, under their Customs House brokers license, they are still obligated to operate within the remit of the law.
If a client comes to you and the transaction is suspicious, and they will deal with what's a suspicious transaction in detail, which is called an STR, that you're supposed to file an STR to the gentleman sitting at the head table, the director of the FIU.
Under the AML CFT Act of 2009, the GRA is the supervisory authority of pawnbrokers, auto dealers, and real estate house agents. These reporting entities have statutory compliance and reporting obligations under the AML CFT Act of 2009. Presently, Customs House Brokers are not classified as reporting entity under the AML CFT legislation, but Mr. Prashad noted that there is consideration to change this.
Like accountants, and the entire committee is convinced of this, that you guys were supposed to be on your way to be a sector and to be regulated. Whether or not GRA will be appointed to be the regulator and hence your supervisor will need a further, a lengthy, and I shouldn't say a further, but a lengthy research as to how exactly it's done in other countries where the sector is regulated. Who is the appointed supervisor? What's the rationale for doing so? Whether or not the tax authority, whom the customs officers and customs brokers share a healthy working relationship with, should be the appointed regulator, or that will send a optic of a conflict of interest. I don't know, but these are obviously, and I'm very sure, some of the considerations that will be laid forth when we are to ventilate the many factors to decide who is going to be your supervisor.
Section 22 of the AML CFT Act details the GRA's roles and responsibilities as a supervisory authority. These include, but are not limited to, the examination and supervision of reporting entities and overseeing effective compliance with obligations set out in the AML CFT legislation. The GRA can also impose sanctions on reporting entities for non-compliance with AML CFT obligations. Notwithstanding their classification under the AML CFT legislation, Customs House Brokers were encouraged to register with the Financial Intelligence Unit in an effort to further enhance their compliance.
If you are a broker who is also an auto dealer, or a broker who is also a real estate dealer, a realtor, or a broker who is in pawnbrokership business, you have to register as a reporting entity. If you are none of those, and you are just a broker, and the scope of your relationship with your client results to advisory capacities, you're not to register, but you are to advise them to do so if they have not yet registered.
As customs evolves in an ever-changing economic landscape in Guyana, the role of Customs House Brokers is critical to this evolution. Here's a reminder of what are the requirements to become a licensed Customs House Broker. In Guyana, Customs House Brokers are intermediaries representing importers and exporters to the GRA's customs, excise, and trade operations and must be licensed to conduct these operations. Prospective brokers in Guyana are required to sit an examination as part of their licensing process. This is typically a 6-week course which tests Customs House Brokers on customs processing and applicable laws. Comptroller of the Customs, Excise and Trade Operations, Mr. Rohan Biku, explained the importance of this training.
By interacting or by representing clients on behalf of the trading populace, it is important that brokers are equipped with the relevant tools, the relevant knowledge, the relevant knowledge of the operations of the Revenue Authority and customs as a whole.
Training for the next batch of Customs House Brokers is expected to commence in the second quarter of 2026. Mr. Biku, at a recent AML CFT sensitizations with Customs House Brokers, noted that training will now include AML CFT sensitization.
Moving forward, every single customs broker course will also have anti-money laundering in it, so you will know your role.
To become a Customs House Broker, a person must be a citizen of Guyana who is not an employee of the GRA. They must be 18 years or older and be of good character. Once qualified, the Customs House Broker will be required to pay a security of a sum determined by the Commissioner General to assure compliance with any pertinent law, regulation, or instruction for the protection of revenue. And with that, we've come to the end of another Focus on GRA. To access more information on Guyana's AML CFT framework and the GRA's role as a supervisory authority, visit the GRA's website, gra.gov.gy. You can also send your inquiries via email to grapublicrelations@gmail.com or taxadvisory@gra.gov.gy. And don't forget to follow us on our social media pages for up-to-date tax-related information. This was Focus on GRA. I'm Tiffany Rodius. Thank you for watching.